Aloha, folks. Welcome back to Spike's Breezeway Cocktail Hour. We have another guest tonight. We had this guest on a couple of weeks ago, but he has such a wealth of information and has such an incredible history in a tiki career that I wanted to bring him back. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Crazy Al.
No! Back again!
I don't know why I'm doing this. Well, I think people really enjoyed your episode.
Checkmate!
Oh. What are those?
We'll get to that later.
Oh. Okay. So people really enjoyed your episode, and I'm glad that you're back.
Cool. I always aim to please.
And it was a bit of a retrospective of your career. I'd like to talk more about your career tonight, but we have a drink to make first.
Some imbibing before the questions.
And actually, before we even started, what were we drinking?
Black magic. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the history of the black magic. It is the nectar of the gods. I think the mutiny was my introduction at the Maikai, but followed by the black magic, and I only order mutinies and black magics, and it's a fun night if you get it.
Oh, 2 cameras. Yes. But tonight, we're gonna make a cocktail that has to do with this incredible mug. Crazy Al is not only a mug maker, but also a sculptor, a tiki carver, charm maker. Is that a thing? Tiki necklace maker?
Yes. This is a Tiki Tony, but I make my own.
Why are you wearing a Tiki Tony?
Because his are hand-carved wood ones, mine are resin. I'm not stupid. I'm not gonna sit there and carve a bunch of them.
I think I have a Tiki Tony hand-carved one too, and they're rad.
I got like 8. He gives me one every time I see him.
Oh, really? Oh. Okay. So, this mug was sculpted for Frankie's Tiki Room.
Yes.
For our buddy P. Moss.
Mr. P. Moss.
What do you think of Moss?
He's interesting.
And that's coming from Crazy Al. Yeah, Moss is an eccentric, weird, rad dude.
The whole crazy thing is not in my control, but there are much more crazy people on the planet than I am. He could be one of them.
He could be. He also owns the Double Down. Anyway, this was sculpted after the tiki that you see when you first enter Frankie's.
Yes. Good story there.
Oh, there's a story there?
Well, P. Moss, how awesome that guy is. He's building his tiki bar in 2008-ish. And then so in 2007-ish, they're like, how much is it gonna cost? Do whatever you want, blah, blah. So I rattled him off a figure. I'm like, if you want this works, it's gonna be this much. And without batting an eye, he's like, okay, just when you're done, bring it to Vegas and whatever you do, we'll love it. And I'm like, oh, blank slate, So this was the end result. It's like 7 feet tall or something.
Yeah. And did I hear that when you lowered it onto your pickup truck, it like ruined the tailgate?
Yes, I needed a log, and so I actually went to another carver who was right around here in Costa Mesa, and he's like, yeah, I think I have something. I picked out the log, we put it in the back of my truck, and we didn't have like a 2x4 or a 4x4 to kind of go across the back of the thing, and I don't know, it was too long to shut the tailgate for sure. Yeah. So we just put it in the back of my truck, and I drove from Costa Mesa to Long Beach. By the time I got to Long Beach, my tailgate tacoed. So instead of being like right angles, my tailgate, not my tailgate, but the bed of my truck was like this. Yeah. And luckily my buddy Robert Talone had furniture clamps, and I was able to spread my tailgate apart with furniture clamps.
Wow. I don't think people understand how heavy palm logs are.
They're very heavy, and they've destroyed many a tailgate.
Well, I want to jump into the cocktail, but what's this? There's a little space up here for something.
Okay, so originally, you put some 151 or some lemon heart or something in there, and you light it up, and it was supposed to. So originally, I wanted the tiki in Frankie's to have a flame coming out the top.
Oh man!
But it has like a 7-foot ceiling, and there's like thatch right here. Yeah. So that wasn't going to happen. That's what that's for.
And these are well sold out by now, right?
Yeah, they're gone. This was 2009, and only made 100 of them, 150 of them, because this is tiki number 151. High Roller Tiki. It says right there, High Roller Tiki.
So the reason that I bring all this up is because we're gonna make a cocktail from Frankie's Tiki Room, P. Moss's Liquid Vacation.
He wrote a book? Wait, P. Moss writes books?
Okay, if you aren't familiar with P. Moss's book, Liquid Vacation, then you might not be familiar with a cocktail called Crazy Owl's High Roller.
Whoa! Look at that!
Look at that.
Wow!
So, but you only have one of these.
I only have one in my,
Okay, so we're gonna make this cocktail in this tin, and then we'll figure out where we're gonna put it.
Okay. Yeah, this is exciting.
So for this cocktail, we will be using falernum, sweet and sour syrup, cherry heering, Angostura bitters, guava nectar, papaya nectar, soda water,
Canada Dry.
XO Reserve Pirate rum. And the recipe calls for Bombay Sapphire gin, but we are gonna be using Beefeater.
Beefeater.
All right, let's jump into this cocktail. What we need to do.
Am I squeezing things?
Don't do that so close to me. That's very unnerving. Let's start with the sweet and sour sauce there.
How do I do this? Is this a real cork or a fake one? Oh!
It's a latchy thing. So 1 ounce per cocktail, so 2 ounces here.
All the way to the top?
Yep. And if you're making your own sweet and sour syrup, I just made this. It's super easy. It's just simple syrup and then equal parts lime and lemon. So that
Into the hatch.
goes into there. Papaya nectar is the next ingredient. So it's this guy here. If you want to give that a shake.
Or the horizontal.
Oh, mambo.
I've watched of 1 or 2 YouTubes. All right.
Okay, 1 ounce per cocktail again. So 2 ounces for 2. Perfect. When did you find out that there was a cocktail named after you?
Just now.
Okay, guava nectar.
Guava Nectar. Oh, God, I got him right in the chin.
This is a lot. 3 ounces per cocktail. We need 6 ounces.
6 ounces. I got this.
Okay.
That's 3 of these.
Yeah.
Did that all on my own. How many is that?
That's 2.
And
4.
1 more. 3. Oh, if you do this, it helps.
Okay.
You look at the color.
It's also looking very full already. Okay, half an ounce of falernum per cocktail, so we need 1 ounce of falernum, which is the BG Reynolds bottle right there. Half an ounce per cocktail, 1 ounce for 2.
Right
There.
Ooh, I
Perfect.
don't want too much of that.
Nailed it. You don't like falernum?
I'm not a falernum fan, but
Your drink?
it's all about proportions.
True. But your drink has falernum in it.
It's all right.
What's
It's
it
all
called?
right.
High roller. Are you a high roller?
I'm a cheap roller. What are we doing?
Oh.
How about this?
Yeah, let's do the bitters.
2 dashes?
Yeah, but like, boom.
Like this?
Yeah, but try not to hit me.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
Okay, let's do the gin next. 3/4 of an ounce of gin,
Ooh.
which means 1.5 ounces for 2.
You just tell me when.
Uh-huh. There. Nope, higher. Yes.
I'm not blind. Just careful.
Now we gotta do rum and cherry heering.
Rum.
You ever have cherry heering before?
No. Herring? My hearing's not so good either.
Did you smell the gin when you were pouring it?
No.
So what does gin smell like to you?
It smells good because I'm a gin fan.
Oh, what is your cocktail?
My go-to cocktail?
No, that it is. It's your cocktail. Okay, so half an ounce of cherry heering per cocktail.
Half an ounce. So 1 ounce.
Right there. Oh, a
Ooh.
little higher. And there. Smell the cherry heering. What do you think of the cherry heering?
Delicious. Now, is this real or fake?
That looks like a fake cork.
What do you think about those?
Fake corks. And lastly, they specifically call for Pyrat rum. And this is a rum that I found out because they used to use this at Trader Sam's.
The old Pyrat.
But which is weird because it's got a little Buddha dude
It's
on it.
Pyrat, actually. Pyrat.
Okay, but what about the little Buddha dude? There's a Buddha guy. So I don't know what their branding is. I'm very confused.
So obviously, very Buddhist.
Now that.
Ooh, that's a real cork.
And so what do you think about that one?
I like it.
Yeah, you do. 1 ounce per cocktail, so we need 2 ounces of rum.
It goes up 2 ounces right there.
Yeah, right there. Oh, no, wait, hold on. We're plumb out of room. Maybe go in there with it. It says a splash of soda water. But you know, let's do this. Let's save that until we have our glasses.
Okay.
Okay. What we're gonna do is we are going to add some ice into this. carefully pour that into this, shake, and then
Who's the careful pourer?
I don't know. So what we're gonna do is we are going to put some ice into this thing here.
How come you don't have a cool-looking deep sea diver helmet?
Because Ron has that,
Oh, okay.
and Alan. I don't know, I can't find it. Thanks
I
for
heard they're
bringing
readily available if you
it
want
up.
one.
I see. Yeah, that's what I've heard too. I hear everybody has one, but me.
The link to those videos are right here.
Oh, thanks for doing that too. Are you gonna pour it in there?
I will try. I'm not an expert.
Carefully.
It's just all at once.
Yeah. Oh god.
Oh, look at that. Oh.
Is this gonna be shakeable, do you think? It's pretty...
This goes on top?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll let you do this.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, go for it. Let's see
Go
what
for
happens.
what? I don't think
Wait, we're not experts.
No.
We're on a new
Dude, this is
trajectory. You got a bigger shaker? What if we put it in a caldera?
What, a cauldron?
Yeah. A cauldron, that's...
Oh no. No, this is
It's all over the place.
Okay.
What to do?
Well, we would definitely want to shake this. So I'm just going to combine this a couple times. Let's shake half of it. People in the comments are going to be like,
Always thinking.
they're going to be like, dude, you can't shake half of it. Let's shake half of it.
This is a crazy drink.
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh.
The horizontal shake. You ever written a song called The Horizontal Shake? You should do. There's a lot of shake songs. Otis Redding is the king of shake. Shake.
Second round.
Shake it to the left and right. Feeling all the time. Shake it and all the way. Shaking the night away. Shake. Is that enough?
It's good. And then I'm going to combine both of those here. So they've been frothed up. They've been combined. They've been mixed.
Smells the effervescence.
Does this smell really good? This is your cocktail.
I like it.
The Crazy Owl High Roller. What are we going to put this in? We only have one of these in existence.
Well, if we're high rolling, let's go for the epic of epics. My most expensive mug ever.
Oh.
Well, actually not. Well, pretty much, but the most complicated mug ever.
Wow.
These are the Tiki Cat Whitco Cat. It's actually the Tiki Cat Demon Cat.
Demon Cat?
Yeah, for the owner of Tiki Cat there in Kansas City, which is
Oh, right.
may have gone the way of most tiki bars.
Sadly.
Special request from Mark Sellers to do a devil cat.
Okay.
I think there was like 3 or 4 of us guys who did like mugs all together. Me, Mulder, Doug Horn.
Uh-huh.
We made mugs. And then there's a whole story about this, but let me just tell you, this is the first. It's not a tiki mug, it's like a pseudo tiki mug, but it's the first bobblehead in the tiki mug genre.
Oh.
But I have to say, John Mulder, who made these original, it was supposed to make, glued all the heads on because he had to deliver the job and it wasn't working. So there was supposed to be 100 bobbleheads, but there wasn't.
Oh.
So they all got glued on. But John did just come out with his line of bobblehead mermaid mugs finally. So go to Ekum Bookum and check out the bobblehead mermaid because he finally did
Figure it out.
figure it out.
Okay.
I do these on my own, and it takes like a half hour to put that fucking head on. So if you're doing 100 of them, and John is a smart guy, he probably figured out it's going to be a lot of work to put on. But also there was some other logistical things that didn't work out. But I made like 25 of these things or something.
And how many are for sale now?
Basically this guy and maybe 2 others.
Oh, so
Yeah.
literally there are 3 for sale.
I think so. And they're on my site. You can like hunt around, peck around, but they're there.
Have you ever had a cocktail in one of these?
I have actually never had a cocktail in one of these. You are more of a vintage guy.
I am.
I'm more of the like bling, Vegas high roller guy.
According to this book, you are definitely more of the high roller guy.
This is the high roller because Moss calls me the dice whisperer. Originally, these dice in the eyes, which are there, were supposed to spin because you're rolling dice. So I had a whole thing, and I actually found 4-inch solid red resin die
Right.
from England or something. There was a supply issue, they couldn't find red resin anywhere, and they eventually canceled my order.
Oh.
And which I had to go to Moss and say, I can't get the 4-inch dice.
Yeah.
And I kind of delivered them with 1-inch dice. And he was like, no. So Bamboo Ben and, you know, a lot of hard work and labor, he got the big eyeballs. But they are not freewheeling. They don't roll. You're supposed to roll the dice.
Right.
They're in there. So anyways, that's the high roller, ladies and gentlemen. That's why it's called the high roller. Because you're in Vegas drinking Frankie's high roller drink.
Not Frankie's high roller drink. Frankie's Crazy Owls.
I love it.
Drink.
I got my own drink.
Okay.
Woo!
Pour yourself a drink with this.
So this is interesting. Okay, so how do you do this, ladies and gentlemen? You do it like this. Just like that. It's so easy peasy.
Don't pour the whole thing in there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You want some,
I
right?
want some too.
You need ice in yours.
Yeah, looks like it.
I think that's 50-50.
Okay.
I got more ice in mine.
Yeah, I think you need a little more.
Okay, you got the booze, I got the ice.
Okay. Usually I'm very much like a tiki mug has to be a tiki, right?
Well, there is this whole thing.
There is.
Unfortunately, I'm in the art business.
Yes.
And it's the object more than the tradition.
Conforming to some kind of set of rules.
Yeah, so the assignment was please create a tiki cat tiki mug.
Right.
And to me, I'm like, how do you make a tiki cat tiki mug?
Right.
You don't reinvent the wheel. And this is why it is a bobblehead. Instantly, I'm like, Whitco cat.
Yep.
And Shag has done his versions of it. It's an icon.
And of course, Whitco produced like some of the best tiki artifacts and designed the
you don't have one of those laying around, do you?
the actual Whitco cat. No, I don't.
They're out there, ladies and gentlemen, if you can find them.
And that's why I think this goes so well with the show, with tiki, with the breezeway, since we have so many Whitco things in the breezeway.
We can get into the story later, but let's do the drink.
Yeah, where's the straws?
Excuse me while I whip this out. Okay, so this is the inaugural drinking of my own drink.
Yeah. Oh, wait, you want to cheers? Can we do that without doing a bobble?
Clang! Oh, wait, first you have to get the motion.
Oh, okay. Wait.
I would have to say this tastes like it came right from Frankie's, like I'm in Vegas, and all the best times that I've had in Frankie's, I'm transported there right now.
We just need more cigarette smoke.
Yeah, you know, especially with the hair and the clothes, cigarette smoke.
So that's a good cocktail. It tastes so much different than the tiki cocktails that we've had on the show before because it has so much guava juice and papaya nectar.
Wait, he's giving us a negative.
Oh.
We've gone, yes.
Yes. Oh, he doesn't do yes very well.
Yeah,
it's because he's a devil cat.
That's right.
Yeah, he says no.
He's going to be indifferent. All right. But basically, pretty good drink.
It's a good drink. I think you should be... Yes. Sounds like you're trying to change lanes. I think that you should...
he's doing it now.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the yes man. Oh, wait. Yes.
Yes, man.
Yes. Excellent drink.
Excellent drink. And I think you should be very proud that your namesake cocktail is pretty good.
I'm sure Moss would get a kick out that we're drinking it out of pussies. That's a Moss thing.
It's a Moss thing.
There's the Moss, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah, here's the Moss.
If you know Moss, a lot of pussy jokes.
Yeah, and if you're ever in Las Vegas, go to Frankie's Tiki Room.
Excellent. Okay, so back to how this got created. The whole goal in life is to do something worth doing. So I'm like, you have to do the long neck. So I draw up the idea, send it to Mulder, and he's like, you can't do that. When you fire it, the neck is gonna...
It's gonna droop.
It's gonna droop and fall over. You can't make that thing. But he's like, if you make the head separately, we can do it.
Oh, right.
He did like a little thumbnail sketch. I'm like, because I've done hula wigglers and blah, blah. We can get into that later.
Is that why you got the idea for the nodder?
Basically, instantly, I'm like, because it's a cat, and I'm like, dude, we got to make a bobblehead. And he's like, oh, I've had ideas for bobbleheads, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, they're so hard to make.
Yeah.
it's really hard. He's like, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. And then he glued all 100 heads on.
Oh, glued them on hard, like.
Yeah, because it was hard to do.
Yeah.
Like I said, he made his thing finally. Oh, what are you looking at?
I'm just trying to see how you attach that thing.
No, it's all physics, plus it's ceramic. So each head is completely different.
Right.
So they each have a different balancing point.
Oh.
Because they aren't the same. And it's all, you have to get it perfectly balanced, otherwise the motion side, you have to get the spring actually has to carry the weight, and it gets all into these physics and what. They're just they're stupid. But if you're making art, you just make a few of them.
Right. There are very few tiki artists who would embark on a project like this and go so deep as Al has in this kind of thing. Same thing with the tiki mug from Frankie's Tiki Room for the high roller tiki.
This was like, how do I outdo the last one, kind of. But it started way back when.
Uh-huh. Oh, wow. How did those happen?
Well, I think I mentioned this in the other episode. This was like my first debut of doing my own production.
Okay.
And it's down to like the wood grain, hairy, detaily. There just wasn't anything on the market that I saw like. So I'm like, I'm going to do like a complete and total replication of a real sculpture.
And what I love about that is that you're combining both like matte glazes with glossy glazes.
Yeah, something that
Which is like they did. Like
well, that was actually
here.
like a monk tiki thing too. That monk tiki was kind of doing. So I was like, oh, I gotta figure that. And I actually approached them, and they're like, we don't
beat it.
They're like, trade secrets, come here. So I like had to figure that out. And,
Yeah.
But this was like, the tiki farm. 250 of these, and then I did these on my own kind of thing. But it was all about detail, and then I think this was like I was saying the last one I did in 2011. It's number 34. In 2012, came out with, we did this guy, which is like kind of some people's holy grail.
There are a lot of modern tiki mug makers, and a lot of them are very good. But I don't know of many tiki mug makers or sculptors who are as proficient as Al is in things like details, like all of this texture following a pattern and looking so clean.
Yeah, and actually, God rest his soul, the Piz, when he was designing for Tiki Farm, and when he saw this piece, because Tiki Farm actually, they didn't make this, but they sold it for us. They sold 100 of these things in 10 minutes for $100 each. And now they go for
how much?
How much are they going for? Over 500 probably.
Why does he have a guitar?
Because it's Sammy Hagar's Beach Bum Rum, which was kind of a cool thing. He hired Ape, my band, to promote his beach bar rum.
Oh, yeah.
And then my buddy Eric was like, hey, let's pitch him a tiki mug idea.
Oh.
But the Piz was like, I could have never drawn that. And I don't draw them before I sculpt them.
Dude, I have no idea how you did that.
I just start sculpting, and then all the creation happens as I'm sculpting. So I didn't know it was going to exactly look like this when I started. I just had the idea that it was going to be a traditional coup.
You know what's funny about Sammy Hagar and that beach bar rum promotion thing? Is he also hired a band called the Hula Girls.
Really? Did you play it for him in Vegas?
Yeah, we played at Vinyl in Vegas at the Hard Rock Hotel, which is now gone. Sammy was a very warm and friendly dude.
He's an amazing human being, actually.
People younger than us almost don't have any reference of who Sammy Hagar is.
Probably not. And even myself ran into a little thing, because I'm a David Lee Roth guy.
I know.
But you're probably a Sammy Hagar guy. I mean, era-wise, David Lee Roth was my teenage idol. And then 10 years later, Sammy Hagar was someone else's teenage idol.
Not mine.
Don't say that on film.
You already worked for him and you said he didn't...
What? When? This is still a potential client. Don't piss him off.
Sammy was a really nice guy.
These are all my custom... I can't afford to buy this stuff, so I keep like the best ones.
Yeah. I wish I would have known that was around when we did that show for Sammy Hagar, because that is an incredible mug, the incredible detail, and just like...
Yeah, that was fun to do. The Hidden Harbor one is also, this is, I think, this is one of the original ones.
Okay.
But I hadn't done, it was 2011 when I did this, and I didn't revisit recreating one of my sculptures till Hidden Harbor asked me to do that.
So Hidden Harbor is a tiki bar in Pittsburgh. I actually was there with High Tide Recordings for a High Tide winter holiday. incredible cocktail program. The cocktails there are absolutely amazing. You sculpted this tiki mug after a giant tiki that you carved.
Right. Like, this is Frankie's is a replica, number 13 is a replica, number 34 is a replica. And so this was like revisiting that. So this is a 7 foot, 1,000 pounds when I delivered it or something.
Which is funny because when he was carving this, I had just started a new job.
Yeah, right. You came out, huh?
And he posted something about
so
like,
funny.
yeah, I'm carving this thing basically where Irvine Meadows concert venue was.
Right. Oh, look, you people that might be long in the tooth like I am would remember Lion Country Safari.
Yeah, it was a drive-through wild animal park.
Which I went to when I was like 10.
Yeah, me too, except I was probably younger. There was a hippo that got loose on the 405.
What?
Yeah, I think it was Bubbles.
Bubbles!
And then there was also a little kid that was grabbed out of a car by a lion. That didn't end well. A bizarre park. It was like you'd be driving through there in an 87 Buick or something, and they'd be like, yeah, roll the windows up. There's lions there.
Yeah, lions would jump on the hood of your car and it was cool.
It was wild. But you were on those grounds carving that exact tiki, and I was like, hey, my buddy Al is like right by where I work carving a tiki. And I went by and I was like, hey, dude, what are you doing? And you're like carving a tiki for some place in Pittsburgh.
I totally forgot about that. That's awesome.
And I came back like a couple times, and I think our buddy Adrian came and visited you. And
yeah, credit to those guys. Like Frankie's, it was, okay, do we go the Bamboo Ben route and spend all of our money on bamboo in Pittsburgh?
Right.
Or do we spend all of our money on one cool, iconic image in the drawing process? And I'm like, well, you could do this, or you could do this, or you could do this, which some clients hate, but they were like, oh, yeah, we never thought of that. I'm like, okay, you're going to have to pay to ship this thing. It's going to be like probably over 1,000 pounds. And I'm taking pictures in the yard. It's a tree reclamation yard. So there's piles of trees everywhere.
Yeah.
And some of them are oak trees and some of them are palm trees. Piles of palm trees. I'm taking pictures and sending it to them. Do you want this one? Do you want this one? Do you want that one? And if you really want to go big, this one. And they're like, we'll get back to you. 10 minutes later, we'll take the big one. And I was like, oh shit. Now I gotta carve this behemoth and ship it.
I was so excited when I got to go to Pittsburgh, to Hidden Harbor, and actually see the finished tiki. It was rad.
I try to stay away from doing traditional Hawaiian stuff.
Oh, right.
But they specifically asked for a Hawaiian-style coup. They want it to be very Hawaiian-looking, but do my thing. So I'm like, well, it would be kind of cool. I've never done this traditional headdress and eye thing, which is like kind of from the textbooks. And so what if he's like holding a tiki mug, which I've done before. I had Keeper of the Mai Tai, which was my Tiki Buddha type guy holding a Mai Tai.
Right.
And so they liked that image, and they're like, well, what if something like that? And I'm like, what if Ku is just presenting
a cocktail.
A cocktail. And then immediately it was, okay, he's got to be holding one of your mugs. He's got to be holding a mug of himself, and then blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's going to be so awesome. So Mug actually created the tiki before the mug was even made.
Oh, I see.
And if you go there to this day, he's holding a little miniature guy who's holding a little miniature guy who's holding a little miniature guy who's holding a little miniature guy. I don't know. It's all there if you have a microscope. This is a crazy drink.
It's a good drink. Like, it's tasty, right?
Yeah.
You said that you try not to carve traditional style stuff. You have your own artistic flair on things.
I didn't understand 30 years ago that you don't reinvent the wheel.
Oh, yeah.
That guys like you
Yeah.
are traditionalists.
Oh, yeah.
And if it's not broke, you don't fix it. 57 Chevy is a 57 Chevy. You don't change. The more 57 Chevy-ish it is, the more you like it.
Sure.
And I'm like, as an artist, I'm like, why would I ever copy
what's been done?
Right. And so in my head, that's why this was Tiki number 13. I thought I was a genius by combining, and I called it cross-pollinization. I'm cross-pollinizationing the world because I'm going to come up with the Tiki Buddha, and it's going to be like something no one's ever seen before. And it actually did, early 2000s, this Tiki Buddha design kind of was reproduced all over the place. But then there was blowback from that. But the cool part for me is, fast forward, 25 years.
Yeah.
People are making Star Wars tikis, so I'm vindicated, man. That's what's hot now. Is people don't understand what you understand. They want that tiki, but tiki something that more relates to myself or more personalized to me, and it gets wishy-washy, and then you can debate that forever. I didn't come from tiki in a retrospective, stylized book of tiki. This is a design icon.
Right.
I came to it simply from primitive art.
I think you did a really good job of creating your own vocabulary of your style. And when you look at a carving that Crazy Al did, you go, yeah, dude, that's a Crazy Al tiki. And I think that's such a hard thing. I think that's the testament of a good artist, in that you know who it is.
I'll drink to that.
You know whose art it is when you see it. And talking about carving giant tikis, Al even carved a tiki in front of my house recently.
Oh!
Yeah, there's that whole thing.
Roll that loop.
had this dying palm tree in the front of my house for a long time. I finally had the money to paint my whole house. I painted it yellow because
that's what you do.
That's what you do when you got money to paint your house. And then I was like, hey, Crazy Al, you think you could carve this dead palm tree? After I hacked the top off of it, which turned out to be like way bigger than you think it is. And he was like, came over and knocked on the thing and was like, yeah, dude, this is a great palm tree for carving, and did an incredible, basically traditional Marquesan guy.
Funny you say traditional, because that design is what I call a Tahitian hotel design. You know, and I found this out through Sven and all these other urban archaeologist guys who actually study shit. And there were no tiki carvers on Tahiti.
Right.
They're all from the Marquesas, which is a little different kind of island chain than, you know, where, you know, on the Beachcomber and Tahiti and all that.
Yeah.
But all the hotels were in Tahiti. So they hired Marquesan guys, or bought Marquesan tikis for the hotel decorations, and they made support posts out of them. So how do you get a tiki to be a support post? Well, it's form follows function, function follows form. And this style, which is very indicative of like Trader Vic's. So if you went to Trader Vic's Emeryville, you'll see that Marquesan tiki transformed into a support post.
Oh.
And that's what you asked for.
Yeah, and I love it. And it's the best thing in the world.
So it's not Marquesan per se.
Right.
But it's a Marquesan interpretation that is functional for a support post, but it's in your front yard.
Yeah, and that's what Tiki's all about.
Cheers!
It's all about the amalgamation of these different cultures and interpretations. And thank you so much for joining us once again on Spike's Breezeway Cocktail Hour. I would love to thank my guests.
Wait! I have something for you. So you gave me a pin last time in the last episode.
Yeah.
You always give a pin.
Mm-hmm. For the Breezeway Cocktail Hour Patreon.
Yes. You do what?
I give them a pin.
And you gave me that pin last time, didn't you?
Yeah. If you're on the show, you get a pin.
But I'm on here twice. I don't need 2 pins, especially that thing.
What are you especially that?
I'm gonna give you a pin.
Oh, the tables have turned.
Woo! My band Ape came up with these 20th anniversary mugs. This was the first one.
Okay.
And this is a Ape Ukulele Mug pin for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you have a pin, now I have a pin. Of course, I wasn't wearing it. I should have been wearing it the whole time, but I wasn't thinking.
Ape was one of the first bands in the Tiki scene that I was even aware of. And I think the Tiki Oasis 3 I went to, and I think you guys are performing there.
Yes, we started in 2003 and went to 2006. Headlining each time.
Wow.
So that goes into a whole fun thing about how, like, there's a whole generation of kids that went from like 5 years old to 8 years old or whatever. It's pretty influential.
Yeah.
So they were like, crazy out, crazy out, crazy out. And then we didn't play for 7 years.
Right.
And so there was like 7-year-old kids who didn't know who the fuck I was. I didn't like it. I didn't like it, Otto. I didn't like it.
But now those 5-year-olds are like 20.
My
23.
nephew who was there when you were there,
Yeah.
he just turned 30.
Oh, wow.
So what's cool is, and we talk about this.
Yeah.
So we were in our 30s back then.
Yeah.
Or at least I was.
Yeah.
And funny you should mention the whole, like, you know, my nephew being 30 and everything. Yeah. We were all in our 30s. At least I was in my 30s during the early Oasis thing. Mm-hmm. And that's when, you know, little expendable money. You don't have a lot of kids, you know, a lot of, you just getting your careers jump starting, and you start buying stuff for yourself,
right?
Nostalgic stuff.
Yep.
There was a lot of people buying like $300 tikis around that time.
Yeah.
Tiki mugs.
Right.
Fast forward, my nephew who's 30. His buddies, who all just graduated as engineers, are buying $200 Pokemon cards, all over eBay every day.
I do not understand that.
Who understood buying a $300 tiki mug?
I would much rather have a $300 Tiki mug than a Pokemon card.
Well, let me tell you, we're talking about collectibles, ladies and gentlemen. Except for, there's supposed to be 3, and I forgot one.
Oh.
But I'll give you the 3rd one later.
Oh.
If you know what I mean. These are my 25th anniversary. These are the number 3 and number 1, and number 2 is missing, unfortunately. But carved these 25 years ago. Released them as a anniversary edition, so that you get those 2. So you have a pin. And
come on.
So these are yours.
Ow.
Oh, my good friends, get them.
Appreciate it. Man, thank you so much. It really means it.
You know,
a whole lot.
I'm missing one.
So what items do you have for sale on your website, and can people go there and get them? And
funny you should ask. So I have these, and I have these guys.
Oh, wow.
At some point in the future, I'm going to finish 6 more mugs, but they're all going to be matching like this, and that'll all be launched on the website. This Tiki Oasis finally got, this was the first prototype.
Okay.
So we discussed this last time, that this is basically the new and improved one. This is what it looked like before.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, put the hat on them.
Oh.
But I had to re-engineer them because these I can get, these are antiques.
Yeah.
I could only find 25 of those hats. And then the other one is the new and improved, just the Saguaro thing. So this is for Scottsdale Tiki event, Arizona Tiki Oasis. So I'll have these, they're on my website now, but I'll only have artist proof, one-of-a-kind things, kind of like these guys, super duper stuff, and then the addition will come out later on. But all that information will be at tikimania.com.
Tikimania.com, and also follow Crazy Al on Instagram.
Crazy Al Tikis.
Yeah, super rad. And these monkeys are unbelievable. I especially like these white ones. Like they're like...
Well, that's the 1935, whatever.
Like black and white cartoon tikis, or monkeys. Monkeys.
No.
Apes are not monkeys.
So these are chimpanzee, young chimpanzees. What they are. So they're apes, which is the band Ape.
That's his band.
Woo! Yeah, so this was one of the wacky things. There was a guy who was making this stuff in the ceramic shop that I hired.
Right.
And he could whip out like a ceramic rose.
Oh.
And forever I tried to get him to make ceramic flowers so that I could put a flower behind the ear of my tiki.
Oh.
And just didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then that goddamn gecko comes out, like literally I've got to make a tiki mug with a flower behind his ear.
Hawaiian Tiki Carver.
Let me tell you, it didn't look like this. So I did all the tropical flowers like hibiscus and plumeria. I did all different kinds of plumeria. Nice shirt, by the way. It's got stamen.
Oh my God.
2008.
Okay.
Hoodoo the Voodoo
What video?
mug. Basically, I actually released this at Tiki Oasis Voodoo themed event in San Diego.
Yep.
2008. But 2006, I saw this skull at Le Loose when I did my 10-year anniversary. It was in the back room. Billy Shire, he was like, oh yeah, those are blah, blah. They had like 5 real carved skulls.
Really?
And I instantly saw the thing, and I was like,
I want to drink out of its head.
basically. And I said, hey, can I photograph these things? So I'd love to make like a mug out of that. And he's like, ooh, take it home with you. And so, you know, bring it back. But he's like, oh, he packed it all up and gave it to me. And it like took me, because I was like, it's so intimidating, but I'm gotta do it. And as I was working on this thing, that fucking squid.
Who's Squid? What's a squid?
Dave Cohen, the
Squid.
fabulous tiki mug. He started at Tiki Farm, then went on his own. But when he broke out, like to do his own designs, one of the first things he did was a carved skull and released it literally like a couple of months before I released this thing. And I was like, that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
But
was it a monkey skull?
not a monkey. It's an ape skull. God damn it. Anyways, through the internet, researching, it's an orangutan skull.
Oh, orangutan.
These huge flaring things, very indicative, only with orangutans because I got those big things. I looked at it and it's all Indonesian carving. There's nothing tiki about it. There's Indonesian dragons on there, which I reproduced exactly the best of my ability. And what's weird is I took forever to sculpt this thing because it was very intimidating.
Yeah.
But because I had one sitting there and was almost the exact same size, this was probably the fastest sculpt they did.
Oh, because you just had to copy it.
All I did was like, like in an afternoon I had it, then took a long time to do the details. But I blocked it in so quickly, it was really cool.
It sounds super
And
easy.
then that just launched into, what am I gonna do for the next thing? I got the slurps.
Yeah, it's a good drink though. I'm like really impressed with it.
Something's a little,
Yeah. What, like flat?
need a little splash.
The splash. We forgot the splash.
You need a little splash there.
Splash of soda.
Little Canada Dry goes a long way. Wait. Oh,
Don't forget the splash of
don't
soda.
forget the splash of soda.
Oh, that's much better. Much better. That makes you sound old.
Yeah, I am old.
Oh, like to talk about cars passing by. All right,
So I'm gonna hold the ingredients.
Oh my God! Please be
Like
careful.
that. Yeah.
I know it's yours, but please be careful.
It'll work.
What?
Oh, God damn it. Just is so hard to get it tight.
That's what she said. So dealing with those giant logs has got to be tricky because not only you can't move the subject matter around.
Well, it's interesting. You can actually move really super heavy things very easily. You just got to know how to do it.
Oh.
It's basically don't tip it too far because it's going to fall down. You're never going to be able to pick it up.
Right.
And there's actually, this goes way back to Easter Island days now that you bring this up.
Right.
So people have been moving heavy things without forklifts for like ever.
Yeah.
But literally ever.
Stonehenge and all that.
And the really cool thing, and if you out there in TV land, YouTube land, look up Fall of Nations, or I don't know, I forget what the podcast is. But he does one on Easter Island, which is amazing because they have an oral tradition, and he has like old black and white footage of an Easter Island guy who's pretty old, and this is like 1940s maybe or something, but it's like old black and white footage. And this old man is telling the kids about how the Moai got to where they went. And the folklore was that they walked, and he's doing this. This old man's doing this on like black and white footage.
Right.
Fast forward to the National Geographic project.
I saw that.
Where they make one and they're like, can we walk a Moai into position? And I've been doing this, I found this out carving large tikis that once you get it up and vertical,
Right.
you can twist and rock it anywhere you want it to go.
Right.
But if it falls down, you'll never pick it up.
Totally.
And on Easter Island, there's tons of these things. They figured out that on downward facing slopes, they're all on their face. On upward facing slopes, they're all on their back.
Oh.
So that was part of the thing, like maybe these things were vertical when they fell down and they couldn't pick them back up again and move them. Long story short, a guy from, I think it was Tucson or somebody, he took giant cement recreation of a Moai and they moved it in Hawaii like 50 yards. Took them all day to figure it out, but they just rocked it.
With ropes.
And it looked just like this. Just like the old man telling a story.
Right.
Like 50, 60, 70 years ago.
Amazing.
So the oral tradition is gnarly.
Yeah.
And the Roman guys, they were like, they know how to move, but my recommendation, buy a forklift.
The end.
I've never swizzled anything in my life. No bar rag?
No.
It's good for the hair. A little guava juice. You're gonna get so much shit. It's gonna be great.
Okay.
My hands are sticky.
Don't make me throw you out of this tiki bar out.
No, but I'm saying that's for the archives. Arr.
Okay. So I was so excited when I finally got to go to.
Are we on hour 3 now?
Yes. For the Breezeway Patreon, for the Breezeway Cocktail Hour. Oh my god.